away and been abducted. After scores of emergency personnel and volunteers from the community, we still couldn't locate Kyrin. On Friday, May 21st, the Little Calumet River Basin Authority, led by their commissioner Dan Ripe, Little Calumet River Basin Authority, along with the city engineer from the city of Hammond, Dean Button, proposed an idea to the Hammond Police Department of damming the Little Calumet River to give us a better look. We thought that by doing this, we could lower the water level enough to where it may be possible to locate any bodies if they were located. It was like a little lagoon there. It's in the river, but it's really a slow-moving part. It's more like a lagoon than a river. So we thought by damming up the river and dropping the water level, maybe it would expose, anything in the river. I want to thank the Little Calumet River Basin Authority. I don't think this has ever been done before, and it did work. We started the process on Friday, May 21st, and we thought it was going to go a lot faster than it did. And over the next 3 days, the water level dropped close to 5 feet. In fact, if you look at pictures that were taken yesterday, you could literally see the high water mark and where the actual water level was. It was 5 feet down, which helped us greatly locate a body. On May 24th, yesterday at approximately 8:15 p.m., a phone call came in stating that a volunteer kayaker had located what appeared to be a body. That kayaker's name is Eric Smith, and he's here today. Eric, where are you? Thank you very much, Eric. Could you give him a big round of applause, everybody? This wasn't the first time we were told that a body had been located. We'd gone through a few drills just like this, and they turned out to be false. So obviously, when we got word yesterday, we all went out to the river's edge and located Eric that dropped a buoy, and he said it was about 12 feet east of the buoy, and where the buoy was about 12 feet to the east, there was something sticking out of the water. We didn't know what it was. It was probably 100 yards offshore. We arrived, the Hammond Police Department sent in their drones, which are amazing tools for police officers, and literally out in the middle of the river, lowered the drone to right over the body, put a spotlight on the body, and it was evident that there was a body in the Little Calumet River. Last night, when we called out the dive team, we had divers respond. We recovered a body from the Little Calumet River. We took the body up onto the shore where the Lake County Coroner's Office confirmed the identity of 12-year-old Kyrin Carter, the little boy we'd been looking for. It's a tragic ending to the story, and obviously it's a horrible tragedy for the family, and we want to extend our condolences to the family. It's a tragedy. I'm glad that we could provide closure for the family, but it's very sad. We're all very affected. There's hundreds of people that participated. So to the family of Kyrin Carter, you have our condolences from the city of Hammond, and I want to say thank you to all the volunteers that worked so hard. I'd like to next introduce Hammond's Chief of Police, Andy Short.
Good morning. Today's outcome is not the one we had hoped for, but is the one we feared. We want to thank everyone for all their efforts over the last week, including the hundreds of volunteers and countless emergency service personnel who have donated their time to this search. This has been a very trying case for the volunteers, for law enforcement personnel searching every day, but most importantly, for the family of Kyrin Carter. I want to start off by thanking the public. When you see how the people came together for this search, it is truly amazing. Thank you for everyone, for the public, who put in countless, tireless efforts searching for Kyrin. I also want to thank Eric Smith, who is the volunteer kayaker who located Kyrin last night. Thank you, Eric. Now for the emergency agencies. This effort could not have been done without the help of agencies involved. I would like to apologize if I forget anyone at all. Please know that it's not intentional. Charge it to my head, but not to my heart. I'd like to thank Porter County Search and Rescue Team, Lake County Sheriff's Office, especially the Marine and Aviation Unit, everyone with the Lake County Command Center, the command staff, Lake County Emergency Dispatch Center, Hammond FD, Hammond Emergency Management Agency, Highland PD, Highland FD, Monster PD, Monster FD, Whiting PD, Crown Point Fire and Rescue, Cedar Lake FD, Maryville FD, Hobart FD, Lake Station FD, Indiana State Police, Indiana Department of Natural Resources, South Shore Police, Cook County Sheriff's K-9, Porter, Indiana FD, FBI, Illinois Emergency Management Agency, IHB Railroad Police, Northwest Indiana K-9 Search and Recovery. I'd also like to thank Amateur Radio Association of Newton County, Lake County Coroner, who are on standby for us numerous times without hesitation. Elite Ambulance Service. They gave us the use of their entire facility several times. Brian McDonald, Red Cross. He belongs to the Illinois River Valley Executive Director. Local Red Cross. They brought us food and drinks. I would also like to thank the Little Calumet River Basin Commissioner, Dan Ripe, for the great idea of stopping the flow of water into the river. Thank you, Dan. I want to offer a special thank you to a few people. Without their help, this effort could not have been done. These folks were out there for 11 straight days. 11 straight days. I want to thank all the men and women of the Hammond Police Department. Every officer and detective involved worked endlessly for the search, a few above and beyond. I'd like to thank them. I'd like to thank Chief Jeff Smith from the Hammond Fire Department, Assistant Chief Dave Weiss from the Hammond Fire Department, J. Craig Jr., Fire Chief for Porter FD and Porter Fire and Dive Rescue Team, Lieutenant Carl Ida. Carl was out there every day, starting at 1:30 that Saturday that we received the call. Captain Rob Bonner. I personally would like to thank the Detective Sergeant Nicole Duncanson. I know for at least for 24 hours she would not eat. She was just standing out there looking and looking and looking. I want to thank you, Nicole. I also want to say thank you to the owners and staff of the Best Western for being very accommodating hosts and doing everything they could to help. At this time, we will ask that everyone allow the family their time to grieve. We are saddened for them and with them. Please be respectful of them during this time. We hope that this can bring some closure to them and the community. Thank you.
We would like to open it up to questions. If anybody has any, I'll try to get the correct person to answer it for you.
Do you guys have any idea how deep the river was at the point before this happened? And if he was stuck in anything that prevented him from being found earlier?
Yeah, I would say it was probably about maybe 8 feet or so, but then the water level had dropped quite a bit.
That's after the water dropped.
Yeah, so maybe up to 14 feet.
The mayor mentioned the use of the submarine. Can you elaborate on that?
They were the drone. They were the drone subs, right? Who had? Yeah, from the sheriff's. Yeah, from the sheriff's office.
Jay, could you answer?
Jay? Yeah.
It's they call it an underwater ROV. Sorry on that. It's called an underwater ROV. It has sonar and video capabilities. It's tethered to a computer system that allows the operator to remote control it under the water and read the sonar and the video. And that's what was used in several points of interest throughout the river. Thank you.
Did you see anything from the video from that?
From the ROV, I don't believe so. They did also run a secondary type of sonar off of the rear of the conservation boats that did yield some hints or anomalies. If keep in mind the sonar is a very blurry picture or grainy picture, so you don't see what you'd see through a camera. So they did see things that were anomalies that divers did dive down and check that came up with negative results.
Lieutenant, what can you tell us about when do you expect to know something about a cause of death, the official cause of death, or has that already been determined by the coroner? Have you ruled out foul play?
How you doing? Captain Hinojosa. We have ruled out foul play on this. Obviously, it's an unfortunate situation. We've dedicated a lot of man hours in obtaining video surveillance that was captured from various businesses in the area. So at this point, we're just waiting for the autopsy and the pathologist to do the ruling on it before we make any announcement on that. I'd like to give you an opportunity to hear from one of our volunteers, Eric, to come forward, because I'm sure you'd like to hear straight from a volunteer's mouth as to how they felt coming out and assisting the city of Hammond. We've got a tremendous amount of volunteer support in this community, and it's totally appreciated. The amount of man hours that's put into this was outstanding. The amount of man hours put into this by volunteers was exceptional. Eric, please come up for a second.
Yeah, I heard about this story, and I wanted to come out and check, give my time to find him. All I took was a missing child, and he needed help. He was lost out there, anywhere. So I started Saturday, met up with over by the command center, and went out on searches. And we came back, and I spent some hours out there, but after that, I would search around like the Gary area, all along the river, on foot. But then I noticed there's so much manpower out there on the ground that I had a kayak, I could access the water. I did that all week, scanned up and down the river. Yesterday, I worked 12 hours, got off work. I thought, I need to get out there and look again. I dropped the kayak in there about 3 p.m., ran up and down the river, stopped a couple times, took a break. I was with my buddy Paul. He was scanning the shorelines. I was out there in the deeper water looking. About 8 o'clock, I pulled off, tied off my kayak behind the hotel, and took a break. And then it was starting to get dark outside, so I figured I'll go make one more pass and then head home, because I had to work today. So then I took off, went down the river, and I noticed like 2 logs out there in the river from passing through all day. And so I knew those objects in the water, but I seen a third object sticking just barely above the water. So then I kayaked down there, and I thought it was what I saw. I got closer and looked down, and it was a body. So I threw down my buoy and climbed out of the river, pulled my kayak out, called local police.
And Eric's story represents what so many people have done since last Saturday. Everyone in the community has come out, and from so far away, from downstate, but mostly we're from the region here. And they've all come together, and I can't tell you, we've had so many stories of just people that are out there giving their time and every day doing just what Eric did last night. So.
Could someone tell us about the process of damming up the river?
I don't understand the hydraulics of it, but I do know it was an idea it's never been done before. Obviously, the director of the Little Calumet River Basin Authority, who's not here right now, it was his idea. We checked with the city engineer to make sure that there was no, we weren't creating an emergency situation for houses, and we knew that the weather was going to be dry for the next few days, which was another consideration because we can't keep it in this situation with weather coming as we have right now. So it was the perfect time to try. I could tell you we thought it was going to go a lot quicker than it did. We actually started the process Friday. And
physically, what happened? Concrete blocks that was put in there?
no, I'm not sure, sir. I'll be honest with you. That's something that should be directed to Dan Repe. He'd be able to tell you. But it was extraordinary what we had to do to get the water level to drop, and it took a few days. But again, to Dan Repe, the executive director of the Little Calumet River Basin Authority, I didn't even know that was possible. But it didn't work right away, but you could tell even yesterday after Eric called us and we showed up, when I first got there, you could see something in the water like the top of a head. We didn't know it was at the time, And then by the time the coroner got out there and by the time the divers were getting out there, it was even more visible. So you could tell the water level was dropping pretty rapidly yesterday, which I bet you Eric passed over that point a couple times in the number of times you went across that lagoon, right?
Yes, I was running my sonar, my fish finder, trying to find objects in the water.
Had you been over that spot ever before?
Yeah, I've been over it. I don't know how many times back and forth.
Right. There was a picture in this morning's newspaper, Post-Tribune, and there was a picture in it of that area. So I opened up the newspaper this morning, and there's a picture in there, and I'm like, that's where we found the body, but in that picture you couldn't see anything because the water level was so high. So by yesterday, by the time it had dropped so far down, it allowed us to actually see the body. And where we were putting divers in the water is where we thought he went down, and I don't know if that's where he drowned or not, but you could tell. I don't think he swam to the location where we found his body. I don't think so personally, but that's something probably Jay can answer better than I. So.
Mayor, do you know what area was camped off? Like how far, was it from Kennedy to Ryan, or how far in area?
That we searched?
No, that was camped off.
I'm not sure. I'd be guessing, yes, sir.
How long, is there any specific determined yet possibly how long it has been there, or have you guys gone through that process yet, finding out how or how long it may have been there?
I imagine it's been there since that Friday, or that Saturday, sir. I imagine. But
I'd like to. When I spotted the body in the water, I threw,
Eric, could you come over here?
When I spotted the body in the water, I threw down my bayou, the buoy, and when I called the police, the buoy was right next to the body, but by the time the police got out there, he done drifted, I'd say 12 feet from it.
Mm-hmm.
So there was a small current heading east.
Towards Clyde.
Yes.
Any other questions?
Is there any estimate of how many hours of, or how many man hours went into the search, and just how many, give people an idea of the scope of the resources or deployed?
No, we haven't calculated how many man hours, but we started, what was the exact date, that Saturday? From the 15th, May 15th at 1:30 to May 24th, 10 o'clock. So we add up the hours.
In the early morning, we made sure to send, we wanted crews, because we knew the water level was lowering, so we were sending crews out there every morning, like at the break of dawn, just in case we discovered anything, we wanted to find it before somebody jogging along the riverbank or riding their bike found it. So yeah, it's been extraordinary. I've been mayor 17 years. I've never seen anything like what we've gone through the last 10 days in the city of Hammond. You know, my city engineer's here if you have questions about the physical process. Dean, would you come over here and talk about what we had to do to make the water level drop? This is Dean Button. He's Hammond city engineer. He coordinated with Dan Repe from the Little Calumet River Basin Authority to help lower the water level. Mr. Button.
Thank you, Mayor. Yeah, Dean Button, city engineer. We received a call from the Little Calumet River Basin Development Commission on Friday making a suggestion that we dam the river off. So the river was closed just west of Indianapolis Boulevard. It's a segment that is just downstream of where the main river channel from Hart Ditch flows into the Little Calumet River. It splits there, so a portion of that water goes west towards Illinois and a portion of the water goes east towards Lake Michigan. And so we thought that that would be the best location to isolate the flow of the river and allow the water to still continue to flow towards Illinois. The width of the channel was probably only about 40 feet wide, and the contractor placed steel sheet piling, just steel plates vertically in the channel, and backed it up with clay material to hold the steel plates in place. And then we had some crane mats that we set down to get close down into the river channel. It's my understanding that this afternoon that will be removed and the channel will be returned to normal operation.
Any questions for the city engineer?
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, if nobody has anything else, we'll wrap up. We want to thank you all for coming out. Please, there is a sign up if you want an electronic version of the press release. Sign that and I'll get it out to you right away.